on a second, man.
Oh, God.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Ron. I'm doing great. How are you doing? We do. Ron, they're saying that there's no audio on the stream from you.
Okay, how about now? And I might be coming in a little hot too, so how about now? Is there an audio? Can they hear me now?
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Okay, so let me start again. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We had a little technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Again, this is our first go at trying to actually get a third person into the stream, and I have to kind of get things ready for that. So I apologize for the non-audio in the beginning. So again, welcome. My name is Ron, and we've got Ben with us today, and this is another session of the Roundtable with Ron and Ben, and we do have a special guest today. It's a new trader who has agreed to very graciously basically be put in the hot seat and agreed to unveil all of the layers of what it's like to be somebody before coming into Apex and then going through the transition and transformation to basically becoming a profitable trader. And that's kind of going to be the goal that Ben and I are going to basically put this trader through. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So this series will probably last for quite a few weeks, if not months, I'm sure. We will probably be checking in at least once, maybe twice, or we'll see how things go on a weekly basis, and then we'll continue the series live along with all the other things that Ben and I have planned. And just sorry if I'm looking away. I'm just trying to get my screen up and running, get Ninja up.
Yeah, every time I look away, I'm looking at the chat, so that's
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 fine.
why
Yeah. So
I'm looking at something.
I'm actually gonna hold on a second. Let me see.
So yeah, our guest today is Michelle. She's brand new to Apex, and she's in a place where we all started. Everyone starts somewhere. We all start this journey of trading. We all have had our struggles and learning thing. And Apex order prints it's overwhelming at the start. There's a lot to learn, and so I think it's going to be good for everyone to look at maybe some former charts. And some thoughts, and then as we talk through them and work with Michelle, and we bounce ideas off of each other, and kind of we go over her trade plan and our trade plan, and kind of see where we can find some common ground and meld those two ideas together. So that's the idea that we got going today, or have had going for a while.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're also going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what Michelle used to do and what her charts looked like before well, let's put it to you this way. It was tough for a while. Michelle was a little stubborn, like everybody is, and refused to kind of do what she was being instructed to do. And we went through a little back and forth, and then she had a couple of things happen to her that had basically, she came to me and she said, I don't know what to do. And I'll let her fill in the story when she is in it. I'm sure she'll very remember the day that she had that transformation, what was happening that day. what had happened that day, and literally what she did on that day. So let me just double check. I'm going to kind of move things to you for a second because I want to make sure that I have the charts up.
Yeah, so Ron gets the pleasure of running all the technical side. I get the easy job of just talking. So
just make sure you tell lots of jokes because we need to entertain everybody.
Oh, and I'm here for the entertainment also. But yeah, I appreciate Ron, everything he's doing on the technical side. I don't know how he does it. It's magic to me. So really grateful. So we got quite a few people watching, and I'm looking at chat, trying to monitor it. If you guys have any questions, we're here to answer questions. But in a little bit here, we're going to turn it over and introduce Michelle, and she'll go over her story. I know that when I started with Apex, I didn't have any real trading background. I started trading like the Nadex binaries, and for a couple months, and then I went away, and I came back when Sniper came out, and I was so good for the first 21 days. I didn't have a losing trade in 21 days, and I was pretty sure I had conquered the trading mountain, and I was gonna be buying my island like next month. I was pretty convinced, and it was not. Yeah, it was, and then it went downhill in a fantastic blaze of glory, and so that was real humbling. And then it was a process because during those days when I was winning and breaking rules, it built all these bad habits. It was like bad habit on top of bad habit on top of bad habit, and it took a long time to iron those things out. And it's still things that I struggle with. I mean, no one's perfect. We're all human, and that's why we're all here to try and learn from each other. And Michelle is just at the start of this journey, and so we thought it was a really good pairing with where Ron is, where I am, because we're in different stages of our journey, and then Michelle's at the start of her journey. And we feel like there's a lot of people out there who are at the start of their journey or going through struggles because we go through struggles. And so the whole point of this entire thing is to help people maybe just iron out one problem or two, or maybe you don't have a trade plan, or maybe your charts are all filled up with 900 indicators, which I've had before. So many indicators, it's like analysis paralysis. And so if we can just help steer the ship towards a better direction, then that's what we're trying to do.
And just so you know, Ben, I am still here. I'm just having a bit of an issue trying to get the charts up because I had to shut down Ninja. And
gotcha.
So I'm trying to, because I actually have to take Ninja down and bring it back up. So we were going to basically cover some of, well, the only trade that we took today. And I was going to show it, but unfortunately, it looks like my Ninja is completely locked up. So since this is a live show and we have to kind of work on the fly, we'll do things a little bit backwards. So what we'll do is I'll bring Michelle in, and she will basically start by telling her story, and then we'll kind of go from there, and hopefully we'll be able to get charts up, and we'll be able to get her charts up so we can see what she was looking at when she started and go from there. So with that, let's bring in Michelle.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
How are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you
Doing
very much.
fantastic.
Thank you very much for joining us. I really, really, really appreciate it, more than you know, actually. And I want to thank you again for being open, transparent, and willing to be put in, kind of under the hot seat, if you would. And if we can just get confirmation from everybody that you can hear Michelle and see her well, that would be great.
Yep, we can hear.
Excellent. Okay, Michelle, so I'm going to basically turn the mic over to you so you can kind of tell your story. And let me turn off these notifications here for a second. I don't know why these notifications are showing up. Sorry, guys. Let me do this. Okay, Michelle, go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, so my background is not trading. I started looking at trading about 4 years ago, and that was all just through YouTube and hundreds of YouTube videos and just getting myself wrapped up in every YouTube video and any that came out or anything that somebody said on Twitter. I was all over it. That was how I learned, because I didn't have a background, in trading. So, as I was saying to Ron and Ben, when I started and I had my charts up, and maybe Ron can show you later, I had every indicator you could think of, every moving average, VWAP, just everything. Like, it was so shaded, I couldn't even see the candle on the chart. And then I was like, I'll take away the candles and make them in, because then I could try to see the bars between all the lines. And then I'd make some lines thicker than others. It was just a hot mess. So we did that for a few years, unsuccessfully. And just signing up to every subscription out there. Every subscription, I have signed up for lifetime memberships for some of these, and I just think, if only I knew now, then it would have been so different. But so be it, you live and learn. But I had just so many people emailing with ideas and what to trade and what to do and what indicator is the holy grail and, things like that. So that was my introduction to trading, which I think maybe everybody that, went down that path, but that's how I started. And then it was about May time of this year that somebody mentioned in a Discord room, because obviously I'm a part of every Discord room, mentioned Apex. So I signed up for Apex thinking, instead of losing my own money, I can lose somebody else's money and it will be okay. I did the boot camp, I signed up for the boot camp. I watched probably 10% of the videos, then went straight into the eval and blew up the account and, reset them, tried again, but just I didn't put in the hard work. I was expecting that, okay, I have found Apex and this is their system and this should just, take me from $200 to $2 million in a day. Naive. But on top of that, with the Apex chart, I went and added all my indicators, every moving average. I then put up the OP chart, and I had added everything that was available in the indicator list under Apex. I added it all back onto the charts again. back to my old ways, thinking, well, one of these indicators is going to show me, how to do it. I didn't follow the rules of Apex. I didn't put in the time and effort that it takes, and like anything, like sports, it's like they say, it's 10,000 hours that you've got to put in to become good at something. And I was just expecting, well, watch 3 videos, I should be okay. And I admit that stop. Then I reached out and said, I'm just not getting it. I wasn't putting it. I didn't follow the videos. I didn't follow the method. I didn't follow the like that. But I like the better, not the better, but like, and I've got count several. And it's where I finally set myself up correctly, and I got onto the room, which was so good, and I put it there.
Just a second, Michelle. Just a second.
Yeah, just a second.
There's some audio issues going on.
Yeah. We lost her, I think.
You lost me?
Yep, there we go. Now you're back. And I think we lost Ben.
Let me know if I can keep going.
Yeah, we actually, I think we missed the last few things that you were saying. And I think we lost Ben right now. Let me see if we
I don't know if it's...
Oh, here we go. Now he's back, but I don't have his video. Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can see everything. I don't know if it's a Skype...
There we go. It's a Skype thing.
A Skype issue.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. But Ben's coming in and out for some reason. Ben, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I lost your video. I don't know what's actually being broadcasted at this point. I can't see and I can't tell.
We can see YouTube, but not me.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Now I can see. Now I can't see Michelle.
Okay.
Skype is fantastic.
Yeah, she loves Skype. Yeah, I don't have Michelle's feed.
Should I just keep talking?
You can. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and continue, Michelle, and then we'll try to get the video.
Okay, that's fine. So I don't know how much of the end that you heard or not, but I was just saying with Apex. So I blew up a lot of accounts, which I am so, like I said to Ron and Ben, I'm embarrassed to admit it, but for this and for the growth of other people as well, of where I am at, and hopefully, this can help other people as well. But I reached out, I reached out to Ron and said, like, I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting the whole Apex, and I'm not understanding. I get it, and we chatted and everything, and I showed what, and he was like, what charts are these? And I had just added everything to these Apex charts, and we had to really just start over again completely. Where just for me, setting up the charts and keeping them as the sniper charts, not trying to add so many different indicators and just add on top of what has been tried and tested. So that was number one. That was probably for me the hardest part, is to get the charts up and leave them up and follow the rules. And then I really sat and went through all the boot camp videos. Not one, like I've been through them about 4 times now. Just understanding what are the entries, where are the entries, what is a mini magnet, what is a flux level, what is, the pivot. And I have them stuck up to the wall and on my desk, just so they're in my face, so that I can actually sitting here going, that. I was stubborn in the way that I wanted to do it quickly. I didn't want to put the time and effort into it. So that part, took me, that was, it's more of the mental game that I had to really say to myself, if I want to do this, I'm going to have to, really start from the beginning, strip away everything I have self-taught, and everything YouTube and Twitter and, the talking heads on TV have taught me, because that was also something that, CNBC would say, the market's going down, we're going down, and then the market rallies and I'm still trying to fight the trend. And instead of having a system that's tried and tested and works and follow the rules. And I think that for me was the turning point, where there is a system. The system has been created. And if you do the homework, the rules, watch the videos, it works, And, just to say, I would also sit and with Ron, I had changed all the ATMs. Like I had changed everything. I got Apex and then redesigned it myself. So I really had to strip back everything and start again. So I am now at the process where I am in sim, understanding the charts, doing the videos. I did purchase Thrive and Wealth Summit. And we can talk a bit more about that just now, I don't know. But it's starting again. And I will start my eval accounts in the new year.
What was it that actually, well, I guess the question is, like, how are you treating your sim account right now when you're trading sim?
My sim account is a live account. Exactly the same way that I would trade my sim is a live account, bottom line. I don't change my ATMs. I don't just go, just try this. Nope. I have my trade plan, I have my strategy, and I'm trading my sim as a live account.
Now, the trade plan that you have now that you came up with, is that something that you had started with, or is this something that has developed since you and I had started speaking?
Ron, it's only since you and I started speaking. The trade plan I had beforehand was like I would put in 10 contracts. And now when I watch the videos, I sit there and I go, that was me. I would put in 10 contracts and I would just buy anywhere. There was no rhyme or reason. But no, this trade plan is since you and I have been sitting and talking and having that, mentorship.
So let's kind of go through, because this is kind of important, because the trade plan, the mindset, the psychology, I want to really go through how it was before you came into Apex. What were you doing? In other words, what was your perceived, for us it's perceived today, but what was your actual trade plan when you started? In other words, you would come and sit at the computer and you would then do what?
I would sit at the computer and just look at the moving averages and go, I think if this one crosses this one, that means it's a long or it's a short. And it would cross, and I would get in, and then the market would sell off. And I'd be like, why does it always take me out? Why does it always take my stop? So I can't say like I actually in my head had a plan. My plan was, if these two moving averages cross, that means it must be long, because that's all I knew in a way.
And then when you started with Apex, you kind of had the same mindset with the Apex system. And did that well, I mean, we obviously know that it didn't work, but obviously at some point you thought that it was going to work. What was going through your mind at that point when you thought that what you were believing to be true was actually the reason that things should be working out the way you thought, which obviously we know that what we think and what we believe doesn't really have anything to do with anything. The market's going to do whatever it needs to do. It's just that we sometimes fight the signals that are being given to us. And one of the things that I can tell that I noticed with Michelle is that the signals were there, but you couldn't even see them because her charts were just cluttered with all kinds of stuff. And again, I'm not downplaying it, downgrading it, or degrading it or anything like that. It's just, that was just a fact. And when I saw it originally, I asked Michelle the question. I said, how are you able to see anything on that? Because one of the questions that Michelle came to me with is she said, I can't see the trend. Remember that? What was my response to you on that? Do you remember?
If I remember, I think you said you can't even see the chart, let alone the trend. You can't even see what's on there. Like, I squashed up a whole 2 days of OP, like the candles, everything. The bricks were so small. There was so much on the chart. You couldn't even see the bricks, let alone where a trend was.
And what was my response to you when you specifically were talking about the trend and you said you can't see the trend? Do you remember that?
You said, I think that's when we said we're not worried about the trend. We're worried about what's on the chart, what's showing us now.
Exactly. We really didn't care what the trend had to do. We just wanted to find out what is the chart showing us. And that was like the most important thing. Because whether the market goes up or the market goes down or there's a news event or anything that is being talked about on the news or any fundamental stuff, it really doesn't really matter to us because we don't care, which is why we have our dark zone where we basically don't trade 5 minutes and 5 minutes and during and 5 minutes after a news event, because the market has a tendency to react and go completely haywire for no rhyme or reason just because it's reacting to a news event. And we don't want to get stuck in that because we have a specific edge that we have that works in our favor when we follow a plan with a very specific set of rules.
I think a lot of it was, number one, I was tired of blowing up accounts. I got to that point where I'm done blowing it up. If other people can do it, I can do it. You know, there's no, if we're all trading on the same platform and the same tried and tested system, if I follow the rules and they following the rules, then I should be able to do it. But I didn't follow the rules and I didn't put the time and effort it takes to watch the video. Watching the video was definitely, obviously all the information's there, but I do think after watching Thrive and listening to Laurie and her saying, what lane are you in? You know, what is your no-brainer and your almost, I think it was also the mindset. It's, you know, that the whole psychology behind it of, I would be sitting in front of the charts and for hours and get nowhere, you know, and like you were saying to me, it's over-analyzing everything and it's only being in front of the charts for like an hour. Make your trade and be done. The old me, I would have traded all day, any setup that I thought was a setup. I would have just kept on clicking, and I would have made money in the morning and then given it all back and some by the afternoon instead of just stopping. So the system is there. You know, the whole Apex platform is there. If you're prepared and willing and want to learn it, it takes time and effort. Nothing's, you know, you have to put the time into it. But I think it's also the the mental part behind it, in knowing when to stop, get up and walk away. You know, like we were saying, how many trades do you take a day and walk away? Having the routine, having, you know, what time do you sit at the computer? What time do you walk away? Don't sit here for more than 3 hours or an hour just looking at charts all day. You know, I was so exhausted at just looking at charts that I was drained. So since, you know, we have been working together, I have stopped all that. I don't feel drained. I feel like I'm taking my trade. I'm following the rules, but it's the mental part that's also made the change. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how long to be in front of the screen. I know how many trades to take. I that I want for a day, and then walk away.
What I kind of want to touch on something, Michelle, that is kind of important. When you had the day that you basically said that's it, and we went through the exercise of getting the new notebook and what was written on that, do you remember the event or events that happened that day of the catastrophic failure, and can we talk about that a little bit?
The day that I blew up all the accounts.
Yeah, that day.
So for me, also being a mom, is that the day we're talking about?
That's the day.
That I thought I could do everything at the same time. I was, you know, it's Christmas, everyone's at home. So there's a lot going on at home with kids and life and that. And I'm trying to trade, and I'm getting into a trade with not looking what I'm doing. And I was doing a trade on Sim, and my Sim account was not as a proper trading account. I was just putting in 10 contracts and guessing if it goes up or down. And then when I went to trade live, I put in like 10 contracts, I clicked the trade, walked away, came back, and it had blown up all the accounts. And I realized I cannot do all of it at once. I have to have time slots. I have to be, if I'm not focused and things are busy, or if I have a bad day, or say I was up all night, is knowing when not to trade. And that was a big thing for me, because I would sit in front of the charts for hours and just trade, not knowing what's going on, you know, not focused, not even like ready for the trading day, you know. And that was also a big thing in one of the videos, is where John was saying, are you ready for your trading day? And that has also, you know, made a big change in my routine, in my morning routine, in what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, you know, what's happened. Is it a good day to trade? You know, have things affected you, or are things going to happen where you're going to have to stop in the middle of something? Just being focused. This is a job, you know, being focused on this and not being distracted. So yeah, for me, it's knowing when not to trade, to be 100% focused on this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I was hoping you would kind of touch on this as well. But again, it's we're trying to basically recreate and kind of bring everybody up to speed. But there's some really important things that you and I discussed. If you remember, one of my questions that I asked you is, when all this was going on, and you had all these outside, you know, distractions, the first thing that I asked you is, where's your trading computer located? Remember that? And remember what your response, and do you remember that comment? I want it to come from you, not from me, because it's really important, because you were the one that was reaching out for the help, and I was just there to give it to you. And, you know, so I want you to kind of, again, I just threw the bone out there, you know, for the conversation, but I think you know where I was going with this, so I'll let you continue.
Yeah, for me, you know, where I trade is in the middle of the lounge, where everything's going on, and you know, I have kids. So it's a very busy place. And maybe this is not the right place if I'm trying to trade. That, it's having the whole picture and getting it set up correctly, knowing the distractions. Where are you? What is your time of day that you want to trade? How many hours do you spend I had to make big changes, in that way, that I can't trade while trying to make breakfast and trying to get school bags, and then sitting and running back and forth in front of the computer. It just doesn't work, and it's got me so flustered.
So you remember one of the things I asked her, I said, is there a way to have your trading environment space isolated from everything else? And the reason I was saying that is because trading is hard enough as it is, and you have to be, I said 150%, 1,000% focused on what you're doing without any distractions. Because if you have any kind of distractions, whether it's, mommy, I need you to do this, or honey, I need you to do that, it's like everybody in the household needs to understand that this is what you do, and this is what's going to generate money. And you need to be left alone because either mommy or daddy is working, right? And that's kind of how it is, with me. When I had my setup was at my house, I basically had to have no interference. Now, the good thing for me is that, well, we start, and it's really early because I'm Pacific Coast time, so I'm basically done before everybody's even, up and going for the day. So it's really important that when you're trading, that to know that your environment that you're in, and make sure that you don't have any other distractions, and that it gives you the ability to focus 100% on what you're doing. And then that's you kind of start from there. And again, I'm still trying to get all your stuff up here, Michelle, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time, so forgive me.
Let me jump in here, Ron, if you can still hear me. I know on my side is cutting out a little bit. So I know for me, touching on like the trading times, I know that when I start trading, I know that I come to the table with so much, I got a limited amount of mental capital to expend that day. And I can usually feel it about an hour into the trading day where I start slipping, start making maybe just little mistakes at the start. And then you start, you can start justifying, and then your rules get lax. Instead of, you start the morning, here are my rules. These are ironclad rules, 3 and done. Max loss, profit goals, all those are ironclad when you start, and you're super committed. And then as that mental capital is expended, the rules fluctuate. And this, I'm speaking for me. I don't know if other people have experienced this, but I know as the day goes on, the rules, the rules kind of shift, and especially if you start the day with a losing trade or you're down 2, then it exponentially gets worse for me. So I know that at the start of the day, I got so much capital, and when I feel myself slipping, it's time to hang it up. Just open in, or I got Ninja Run and just disconnect, like whatever. I'm not looking at the charts. And then talking about the morning routine. So I'm on West Coast too. I live in Oregon. We got some rain if anyone wants some. It's just ridiculous. But so I got four boys. And they come in and they'll stand there, like when they get ready for school, and I'll stop and, give them a hug and a kiss, tell them to have a good day at school. But they know that I'm trading. They don't come in, running around, being loud. So it's nice and quiet in my office. And then my dogs will come in and want to be fed, and then they'll walk away when I don't feed them. But so that's the routine. But when I started, it was not like that at all. It was kind of chaotic in the morning. The boys would come in, and and once everyone had an understanding that this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm going to do, then everyone just kind of fell into line is the wrong phrasing, but they kind of fell into the routine of this is what Dad's doing. This is how I need to go. And now it's that way every morning, and the distractions are far and few between in the morning, which makes a world of difference when you can focus on the charts and have your attention just solely focused on the charts. But when there's distractions and kind of chaos going around, it makes what we're doing just almost impossible if you're not able to just solely focus on the charts.
I'm still trying to get everything up and running, Ben, so I apologize. And I don't know why things, when you stop talking, your screen goes blank. I don't know why. I don't know what people are seeing out there.
I'm watching the live stream, so I reappear when I talk for some reason. I think it's a Skype issue. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, and I think there's also an echo on my side. I don't know if anybody else can hear it, but when you're talking, there's an echo. And Katie just mentioned that
Yeah,
they can't see you. I don't know. Can you see yourself now?
Yeah, no, I can. I'm watching the live stream. I can see myself. When I talk, I come back, but then when I go quiet, it goes back to the Skype thing. Unsure, but they can hear me, so I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah,
and
Ben's sporting the Princess Leia headphones today.
Dude,
by the way,
they're fantastic. They're Logitech.
Yeah.
They were wireless, but now the batteries don't work, so I have to keep them plugged in. But going back to what Michelle was talking about is with her charts. I've done that. I had everything. You want to talk about an indicator? Oh, I have so much useless knowledge on how many indicators there are. Oh, I can just talk for days about indicators, and I can tell you how they don't help. when you try and marry apex order prints and random indicators, because I've tried marrying. If I do this and I do this and I do, and then with these cross, and then I take this, and then but then if I look at the order prints and then there's this, I can go here. It just doesn't work. And I have back tested so many hours back testing, hundreds of hours back testing things, building strategies, testing strategies. So I can talk days about back testing. But yeah, when you try and marry the order or the apex order prints with other indicators, you're taking away from the apex order prints. And like what Mike just said in chat is all like the moving averages and all of the other indicators, not all of them, but a vast majority of indicators are all lagging indicators. You're seeing what's already happened. And the great thing about order prints is like you're seeing the orders come in, and the order prints sniper system is reacting and giving you graphical interpretations of those orders live on your charts, instead of, well, 5 minutes ago the market was trending. Well, who cares what 5 minutes ago? What if you hit an institutional zone and they come in with a bunch of buy orders and your moving average is trending down? Well, chances are you're going to reverse and go the other way. So the moving average does you no good. And we're scalping. So we're only going for 10 ticks. On the trailers, we're going for more. But if you're only scalping 10 ticks, the moving average, who cares? You could have a 5 minute, 10, whatever. You can have all these different moving averages, but if you're only going for 10 ticks, there's no way to scalp 10 ticks off of a moving average consistently. You can do it, but it's not something that's going to give you an equity curve that is consistently green week after week, month after month.
the Apex system works. It works. I don't need to change anything. I don't need to add anything. Clearly, everything I've done hasn't worked. So why am I trying to change a system that they've spent decades creating? What I've done doesn't work. And that's, when I reached out to Ron, and I stopped everything, and I went through all the, I did it properly instead of just trying to rush through it, and only watching 10% of the videos and just wanting to trade live quickly and get through the evals quickly, and like Ron said today, which was so key, and it was me, and I laughed. And if you get through the eval in 3 days, your PA account will also only last 3 days. And I was like, oh, I'll rush through, the eval account, and all on luck, and got to the PA and blew up the PA account. And I was just like, what am I doing? I clearly don't know what I'm doing because I'm not able to, hold the PA account. And that's when I was just like, I need to start and do it properly. I need to put in the time, put in the hours, watch the videos. All those boot camp videos, they make sense if you watch it more than once and just sit and look at the charts and not just try to take a shortcut. And I took the shortcut, and it was to my detriment. And then also I will say, watching the Thrive really pulled it.
Michelle, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Do you have all of your notes handy, like the books that you had before we started?
Mm-hmm.
Can you just kind of, because one thing that you've done before, which is really good, is you took a bunch of notes as you were trading throughout your trading day. Can you just kind of like show the thickness of those notes? I mean, just kind of like show what it was. And then what I want you to do is show what I had, the exercise that we went through to when we said all that. And I said, okay, what are you writing on? And I didn't want to know what you're writing. I just want to know what you were writing on. And I wanted to see what it looked like. And then what did I tell you to do right after that? And what did you write? And if you can show that there. Because this is really important. I mean, this is an exercise of when I talk about all the time in the ER about letting go of everything that you've done in the past. So I don't know if you guys can see that. But
I like it.
basically it was Michelle was like, this is my starting over, and whatever happened in the past didn't matter. And as soon as Michelle speaks, her video will pop back up, because I know that it's as soon as Ben spoke, then the video popped up. So but that's the key, and that's one of the hardest things to do is Michelle still with us, or did we lose her?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, there we go. So we just can't see you. We lost your video. Excuse me. So one of the things that, the exercise I was going with Michelle is that you have to let go of everything that you've done in the past, because it's going to hold you back. I mean, you got to get rid of this huge weight off of your back and basically start new. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go through this exercise. I had her basically flip the page, and she decided to write, this is a new day, this is my new start. And then she flipped on over, and then everything else from that day forward was all going to be notes and trade plan development, anything that has to do that was Apex related. And how have we been sticking with that, Michelle? How's that been working out?
It's been good. And from that new start day, I have the things where my questions are, did I follow my rules today? Was I disciplined? How many trades? What's my trading plan? How many trades did I take in the day? How long did I spend in front of the computer? Because I was somebody who would sit here all day from, the time the market opened until the time the market closed, doing nothing, just wasting my own time, but then not getting other things done in the day, life things that I needed to get done. And I needed a good schedule, a good routine where trading didn't take up 90% of my day, and I wasn't even profitable. So it was just a waste of my time. So it was, what are my rules? What's my discipline, my trading plan? I'm paid to be patient, of which today was tough because there was a trade I saw. It was not my trade. I didn't take it. It, ran 20 points, but I took my trade in the end, and it was one trade, and I was done, and I walked away. I sat and I still listened to everybody, but I did not trade. Yes, I made notes of trade I would have taken, and was it a good trade? What was the setup? Why was I saying I would take this trade? So that's what I have started doing, is if I say I'm going to take this trade, I have to note why I'm going to take the trade as the bar is forming. Because if I was going to take it, I'd be clicking the button to take it. So I need to know straight away why I'm taking it.
Right.
I follow my rules. It's discipline. I want this. I don't want to blow up any more accounts. When I get these new evals again, and I'm happy to take a month to pass the eval and do Daryl's strategy. The $150 a day, 3 trades a day of $50 a trade. I'm happy to go slowly. I'm happy to actually understand the Apex system, because I want to be able to maintain this. I want to do it not for 12 days or 12 weeks. I want to do it for 12 months. I am so determined now to follow the rules, follow my routine, my disciplines, the things that I have written down. It's a promise to myself, and also I'm held accountable by my mentors. Ron is mentoring me, and Ben, and every time Ron speaks to me, did I follow my rules? And I only have myself to blame if I didn't. And you know what? If I didn't make a trade today, I didn't make a trade, and that has been my biggest fault, is that I would sit here and just, because I haven't traded, I'll take any trade now just to make a trade, and then it will lose, and then I'm trying to play catch up.
Right, and that was one of the biggest things that I had to help Michelle get over. Is she always said, "Well, this is my trade to win. This is my money. This is I need to take this trade. I have to win." Remember, we had that, and I asked you. It's like, well, why is that? And you know that the market is going to do whatever the market's going to do, and it doesn't care what you think or feel. And I want to go back for just 1 second. That I think it's really important, and that's one of the things that I spoke to you about, is that you need somebody that's going to hold you accountable every single day. Now, if it's not me, the good thing about it is Craig, your husband, was there, and he would have been the perfect accountability partner for you. And we just made a small little modification in the conversation between you guys, if you remember what that was, that will make a world of difference on, how you're going to approach what you're being accountable for. You remember the conversation that you used to have with Craig and what it's like now?
And I think that the main question, the number one question was, did I stick to my rules? Did I follow my rules? And I think standing accountable was the biggest thing, is that I was very easy to go. For me, there was, the stock, the futures move for, so say whenever, it moved 60 points or 80 points a day. I was like, but I should make all 60 points, all 80 points, and that was, something that held me back, because I was like, there's so much money to be made, I should make it all, but not understanding the whole compounding part of making your 3 trades a day, 12 months, and how that compounds. Instead of just trying to take 60 points in one day, and instead it turns on me and I would lose 60 points. That every dollar is not there for me to take.
Right.
Take what and walk away.
Exactly. And if it happens within 5 minutes of your trading session, then you've got the rest of your day to spend with your kids if they're on vacation, or go do whatever it is that Michelle likes to do. And that's the most important thing. We don't want to be married to our computer screens, and we basically trade to live, not live to trade. And think about what I just said, because it's really, really important. We don't just, this thing is not here to consume us. We're here to just take what we can and then just go about our day and do whatever it is that we basically need to do.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think, Ron, was, I think also having a mentor that I followed, you know, yourself and how you know, helped me and everything. I used to take so much information from so many different people, and it just, you don't understand. I don't understand why they're saying what they're saying, or why they're taking that trade, or what they're doing. It's having a mentor to follow, you know, that is able to help you grow and understand your story, you know, and somebody who actually knows what they're doing and is not too far ahead of you, but not so way behind you that can't help you. So it's having the right mentor to follow. And having one mentor, not, you know, 6 people that you're trying to follow, because that's not going to help you. It's just going to confuse the matter.
I remember I was talking to a trader one time, and I asked him, I said, well, and he was a gamer like me, and we were talking about games and stuff, and also trading. And I said, well, are we, and we go back to trading. I said, are we professional button pushers, or are we professional traders? Because everyone can trade. It's super easy. You just click the mouse, click, 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 and then you can blow an account in a few clicks. So it's like, we're not here to press buttons. Like, everyone wants to be in a trade. Everyone wants to get their trade, you know, but the patience is key, and we're not here to just, you know, press buttons. So my son, I've been teaching him, and he exclusively trades the Lorex. It's the only trade he takes. It's the only trade he's ever taken. But he only takes the Lorex, and there's no other trades. Like, I've taught him other trades, but he only trades the Lorex, and he'll quit. Like, he has followed the rules to a T. There has not been one day. There have been trades where we go back and we're like, well, you probably shouldn't take this trade because of XYZ. But he's been doing it for about 50 days now, and he logs every trade. He's got a notebook. After every trade, he writes it down. He does a little graph of his profit and loss. It's pretty awesome. But there's been days where, you know, he'll hit at 2 losses, he quits. At 2 full losses, he quits. And then at his profit goal, he quits. And there's been a couple days where it's one and done. And he goes, well, what do I do now? And I go to school. That's what you do. Like be happy, shut it down, go to school. And then when he hits his loss, and he's like, well, do I keep trading? And I go, you know the answer to that. And he's like, nope, I don't. I was like, well, now you go to school. That's what you do. And so following the trade plan and your goals consistently are what matter. And he had he had like 8 or 9 winning days in a row, and then he had 2 days where he hit his full loss, you know, which was $400, and it affected him. But I was like, let's look at when he had those 2 bad days in a row. I said, now let's look at things. We're not going to change things. We don't need to change the plan. We don't need to pull out the eraser and start changing stuff, because we know we have a trade plan. We know it works. We know the system has probability on our side. And I said, now let's look at all your trading days. And so we started looking. I was like, this day was green. This was green. This was green. You had 2, and then you had 2 bad days. I said, but look at the equity curve. It's going up. Yeah, it went down, but it's going up. Let's start. And so having some perspective long term, I think really helps solidify strength, solid trait.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And that's one of the things that we're going to basically take Michelle through as she develops her training plan and everything else. And I'm just kind of glancing over. We've been on for about a little over an hour and some odd.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's like, man, it was like time's flying. And so I just wanted to kind of get everybody introduced to Michelle, get a little bit of the backstory, seeing how that we know that she's going through making the transition. She's doing basically what she's basically being instructed to do, even though at times it's really difficult because she has a tendency to have something that is from the past that's going to haunt her and pull her back into her old habits. And that's what we're here for. And I know that the accountability and everything that's happened, this is going to be a huge benefit for her as well as everybody that's watching and will watch us in the future. Is when so many people you're being held accountable by so many people, it's like you want to do the right thing because you want to be successful, especially if that's your plan and your goal. So that gives you huge motivation. And for those of you who know my story, when I got into the elite room, that actually encouraged me to even be better than I was before I got into the elite room, because there's so many eyes and ears listening and looking at what I'm doing that I just want to make sure that I do it right. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. But as long as I follow the rules and I do the right thing, if the trade doesn't work out, then so be it. It happens, because not every trade is a winner, not by a long shot. But the way I have my setup is that I look for the highest probability trade that I have no problems getting into, because I know that if everything works out perfect, it's going to be a winner, and then it's going to run some. So I know we're getting kind of towards the time mark. Michelle, is there anything you want to just kind of say in closing before we let you go? Because I know you got a bunch of things to do as well, and I don't want to take up too much of your time because we're going to be doing this on a regular basis somewhat. So, and again, I appreciate the time that you are taking. And by the way, I appreciate everybody that's watching. If you don't mind, please give us a like. That would be great. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you can subscribe and hit the notification button so you do get notified every time that we do these roundtables. And Michelle will be joining us in the future as well. So with that, again, Michelle, if you have any final closing thoughts, that would be great.
No, I just want to say thank you, for this opportunity and for mentoring me. I know it's going to make me a better trader. I know it's going to hold me accountable. I know, and I'm, so determined to follow these rules, to get through these eval accounts and get to the PA account and keep the PA account. I don't just want to get through. But if there's anything to say, it's you've got to follow the rules. If you break the rules, you're accountable. And that's why I'm in the early days of this journey. And honestly, I am, like I said to Ron when I spoke to him the first time, I am embarrassed about, have blown up the accounts of where I've come from. I wish I could erase everything I knew up to this point and start over again. But we are where we are, and I am going to do it properly. I'm going to put in the time, the hours to watch the videos, and I have written down my rules. I have all the, what are walls, what are trap Xboxes. I have it all in front of me, so I'm not confused or missing it. And I have said to myself, as part of my routine, is that every day I watch one of the little videos on reminding myself what is an Xbox or what is this, just so it's fresh in my mind, and they're only like 10, 20 minutes, and that's part of my routine, so I don't forget it while I'm going through these evals. And yes, I'm not in a but I want to do it slow and steady, and in a year's time, be where I want to be. So it's a long journey.
It is, and we'll get you there, and we're going to get we're going to get you through the process of passing your evaluations. We're going to get you through the process of actually getting you funded, and then we're going to get you through the process of getting your payouts, and it's going to be good, and it's going to be fun, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy seeing the process.
Yeah, and I want to take a minute and thank Michelle for being willing to come on. I know that if the roles were reversed and I was had gone through what you had gone through recently, and then Ron goes, "Do you want to come on this podcast and talk to me about all your problems?" I would be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for being a good sport.
Yeah, and I appreciate that as well, Michelle. So so thank you for that. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up today's session. We didn't really go over. Well, you want to go over today's trade, Ben? The YM that we. Was it? No, it was RTY that we took, right?
It was an RTY long. I think it was, and I think even Lori called it in the room also.
Yeah. What time was it? Do you remember? It was.
It was later in the session.
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up.
10:30.
Let me see. It was 11:19.
That was close.
Close.
45 minutes off.
Yeah, 45 minutes off.
That's close.
Yeah, it's close.
Relatively.
Okay, where is it?
Yeah, that was a nice trade too.
Was it 11:19? I don't know what time it was. Yeah, it was. It was right. Let's see. Sorry, you guys are looking at the side of my head, which I'm sure is really exciting.
Yeah, Ron has a few monitors he's got to look at.
Yeah, it's okay. So it was 11:19 flat, and for some reason, when this thing reloaded, it did not. Okay, I'm going to refresh the RTY chart really quickly. Yeah, so we actually ended up taking one trade today, which, and there was one that we missed, right? There was one that I missed. It was RTY as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't there another one?
I can't remember which one that was, but it happened.
It was YM, actually. It was a YM trade.
Yeah, it happened so quick.
That I missed altogether because I was busy talking about something, and it was at 11:04:01, and that was the trade that I missed. Okay, so 11:19. Okay, there it is. All right, let me get. Hold on one second. Yeah, Ben, your camera today was giving me all kinds of fits, unfortunately.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a really expensive camera.
Yeah, well, it was really unfortunate that it didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
No, I don't know. Skype it had to be a Skype issue.
Yeah, so we'll get it figured out for the next one for sure. Okay, so here we are. So this is our. Ben, can you see it? Can you see the chart?
Yep.
Okay. You wanna walk it through, and I'll. Well, let me see. It's 11:19. Let's kind of cheating a little bit, but here's the setup bar. When we get to it here, there's the setup bar.
Yeah, so I mean, we come down, and this was the one that this is one that Lori and Ron, I think, both called. I think Lori called it. But yeah, we come down, and it's got all of our conditions for the trade. So Lorax has our additional confirmations with the Lorax. It's coming off. Not really a level, but on the 30 tick, if you look over there, it's laying a mini magnet on the 30 tick. And then if you look to the left, it's got a cluster right on that ZOI on the previous bar, and our entry is right above it. So we got a lot of things going in our favor on this trade. And we know from back testing, and we know from forward testing live that our conditions have a high probability win rate, and so the trade was executed.
And it went for a little bit, which is good. I mean, all we needed to do was get our 10 ticks, and we were done. So it doesn't show. Why doesn't it show the trade? Because I probably don't have the account selected in the...
But I know you took it.
Yeah, no, I took
So
it.
we talked about it.
I took it. Hold on a second. Let's see. It's because the chart trader doesn't have the right account showing in it. It's got SIM. And
That would be a problem.
that's a problem. So let's see. There we go. So there's our entry, and we got out.
Ron cannot see the chart right now. You're trying to show it.
Oh, there
See
you go.
us. Ah, there we go.
There's our entry. And then, I don't know what, and again, something happened with this particular account that I'm picking out of all of them, because I have quite a few. And on this particular one, the first one got out here, the second one got out here. Let's try to pick, here, give me a second. Let's try to find a different account, because something happened with the accounts on that one.
Yeah, that one might have had a different entry or something.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. Yeah, this one shows even worse. You're gonna like this one. I'll show you this one. So this one, this account, we got our entry here, and we got out here on 2 contracts. So, but regardless, we still got our 10 ticks and then some. Got like 15 out of it, or so. Was it 5, 10, 15, almost 20. 20 ticks out of it. So that was it.
Yeah, on our trades, Vladimir. So that has a trapped Xbox, trapped orders, a cluster, exhaustion, and a TX to 30. And so we have additional conformations that we look for at the Lorex because there's different variations of the Lorex. And so when we have 4+ conditions that are met, then we take the trade. So they're not taking every Lorex. We look at Lorexes with additional conformations.
Yeah, Richie, so to get the, I saw your question that you did a while back. I just didn't get a chance to answer it because we were talking about something else. The way I get the TX, and you're talking about this guy right here, right? This little blue TX on the OP chart. Is that what you're talking about? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. So the way to get that is I put on, oh, you can't see it, so that's why. Right here, this thing. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. So the way you get that is if you go into the indicators and then you have your order prints copier on there, and then for TX, show TX, you check this box. So you make sure you have your order prints copier on there as well, and then just check this box. It should be by default, and that'll give you the TX here. Another thing to make sure also is that when you go into the copier, you make sure that your identifier is calling into your 30 tick so that it pulls the TX information out of it. So the regular OP doesn't have the order prints copier. It's got current price, order prints, and the bar range. That's the one I put on there. So I just made it so I can see all this, and that gives you the TX. Is that helpful? It is. Perfect. Okay, if there's any other questions from everybody, we're going to get close to wrapping it up. I think we're almost going on an hour and a half. So
yeah, I think this was good. And I mean, even when Ron and I talk and we're talking about trades and trade plans and mentality, I mean, we're still, it's never a completed process. It's always a journey, and I got to thank Ron for everything he does, not just on, I mean, everything, the technical side, and him and I bouncing ideas off of each other, mentoring, I mean, everything.
No, Ben, I actually have to thank you. I mean, it's mutual. It's mutually inspiring. It's educational. I mean, I benefit from it immensely. And again, I thank you for your time as always. I hope that everybody gets something from watching this. I hope that you guys that were with us here live got something out of it. Because if everybody walks away with just one thing that they learned, then I believe that we actually did our part. And if you're part of Apex and you're in the elite room, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow. We're in the elite room 9:30 to 12 Eastern, and then Ben and I will circle back and do another roundtable again. We'll see if we can get one in this week. If not, we'll pick it up again after the new year. And if you're not part of Apex, then go to Apex. What's the Apex?
ApexInvesting.net.
Yes, and sign up for boot camp. You'll get free access to all the indicators. Get free access to the elite room for 30 days. It's free, and which you'll get access to all the education, everything. And you'll get access to Lori and Daryl and myself in the elite room. And Ben is in the elite room as well, not on mic, but in chat. So he contributes every now and then. Yeah, he tries. And yeah, it'll be great. So again, if you liked this video and you like this type of format and structure, then give it a like. And if you're watching the recorded portion of it, and if you have any comments or suggestions or anything you'd like to see us do in the future, by all means, let us know and comment below. And yeah, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you very, very, very much to Michelle, who was forever gracious to allow us to take her through this journey. And I'm sure she's going to do really, really well, because I know that's something that she really wants to do and is striving to do. And again, I can't thank her enough for allowing us to take her through this and put her in the hot seat. And that's all I basically have, Ben. If you got something.
I think you summed it up pretty good, Ron, and want to thank Michelle again to be our guest and help us and help you and hopefully help some people that will watch this. So
Yeah,
really
And
appreciate
again,
it.
Yep. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys the next time. Thank you.